Okay, so I'm going through the comments of my most recent episodes, and probably almost once a day, somebody is hitting me up saying, I want the Judgment Day. Bring us the Judgment Day. Create the Judgment Day. All right, fine. Here's the Judgment Day. Beginning to end, full creation of how to create the Judgment Day and the new Judgment Day in WWE 2K22. Now, this has been on my list. It's been a request from all of you, so if you're out there and you wanted to get the Judgment Day fully made, beginning to end, this is for you. Enjoy. Step one is we need to get our custom community creations done. We're going to get one for Edge and for Rhea Ripley. Two of them that I did find that are really just awesome. We've got the one from Reckham 83787. And this is a Judgment Day attire for Rhea Ripley, set as an alternate attire. Love the purple, love the pants, love the jacket, slick down hair, looks great, just top notch, well done. We'll download this one. And for Edge, we are going to get a brand new Edge. This is not going to be an alternate attire. It's going to be a standalone Edge, and it's coming from the one and only Iconic Cause. Two attires in here, both awesome. Shortened hair for Edge, his most modern look. You can obviously go in and just use a standard Edge with the long hair and just change up his attires. Copy this one over to current Edge if you want to be able to get commentary and everything set up for Edge himself specifically. But in this case, this creation is awesome. So don't set this one up as an alternate attire, keep him as his own version of Edge. Now the next step is optional, obviously, but for Matt, I like to keep things polished as best I can. So we're getting some renders, we're getting some nice HD renders, and we are going to go and visit our big friend here, Ruthless Big Chris. Ruthless Big Chris has all of the HD renders, and he's got one for Edge, and he has one for Rhea Ripley. Not one for this specific attire. You can go through all the community creations for images and find any HD version of Rhea Ripley that works for you, but I ended up going with this one because it's just awesome. Now for Damian Priest, I didn't get anything for Damian Priest because, well, frankly, his current attire seems fine, and I don't want to use up another slot just for Damian. But you could obviously go in creations, download yourself a fresh new Damian Priest if you need to. So our next step is let's make sure that we are applying these rendered images that we have both for Rhea Ripley and for Edge, and set Rhea Ripley as an alternate attire, and just set Edge for his rendered image. You're good to go. To set the stage, I have gone through this a couple of times. I have gone through and created the tag version, the trios version. I've even tested out doing a mixed tag version of the Judgment Day, because there's different ways to do all of this, and I'm going to show you everything. And don't forget, I'm also going to walk you through swapping out for Finn Balor and what that looks like, because the Judgment Day was in shambles and it blew up before anything really got started. So let's create our team. Let's create the Judgment Day. We're going to name it the Judgment Day. For team announce, do as you wish. I set it up. There's no Judgment Day for a team announcement, which is a big bummer. They should have it in there, frankly. But for team announce, you could do the Brood. You could do the Brotherhood, which is another one like I did in this example. You can play around with it, tickle it a little, see what works for you. Don't be shy. We're gonna add in Edge and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Set the crowd reaction to boo. When you're setting up the trios or the tag, you have to do this as its own step. So if you want to go in and edit the tag entrance first, do that, but you got to go through that whole step and save it, and then back out and go back in and set up the trios. So the main one everybody wants is let's set up the trios entrance here. This is where we're gonna have some fun, but for what I selected, I went with Painful Literature 2 as the motion for the team. And for entrance music, I went with Undertaker 98. Love it. Love a little bit of guitar like it does with the Judgment Day's real entrance, and it just kind of works for the whole mood. The rest of it is all Undertaker, and you decide what works for you. For me, I went with a combination of Undertaker 95 and 98 for everything for Titantron movie, the banner, the stage ramp, and the apron too. Also screen effect, optional. I've set it up for blue. I've also done it where I turned it off. See which one I like better, but for their mood, they're a bunch of moody people, so we went with the blue effect. Double check your casting too for all 3 stars. You want to make sure that you have Rhea Ripley as number 1, then Damian Priest, Edge is last, so you have Edge coming out as the leader. This is the same case when you are going to do it for Finn Balor too. So there, step 1 is complete. You have the Judgment Day's 3-person entrance. Painful Literature 2 works for this entrance for the team. It's straightforward. You can swap Rhea and Damian Priest in their spots for left and right, but I did like this. I do like that Edge does the point to tell them to go into the ring. It's a nice little touch that they do. Let me know in the comments though if you find that there is a different entrance, trios entrance, that you feel works best. For me, it's straightforward here. They're supposed to look like badasses, and I do like having Rhea's new attire and the alternate version of Edge. Really just works with this. And the blue light, I am kind of a fan of. Let me know what you think. Okay, the next step that I want to show you is going through with creating the tag team for this. Because if you are going to have a match, if you're going to have Edge and Damian Priest team up, we got to change this over to make sure that it's going to be everything for Judgment Day 2. So for this, the motion that you want to be able to capture is going to be Painful Literature number 1, and select Undertaker 98 for the entrance music. Everything else, like I said, is going to be Undertaker 1995. And for cast, I have Edge as slot number 1, and I have Damian Priest as slot number 2. Now, quick note here. I've done this before where I swapped it out and I put Edge as number 1 and Rhea Ripley as number 2. If you do this tends to mess things up a little bit, good and bad. If you switch this, it will put them in as a mixed tag team, but it moves Judgment Day, the creation of that team, it moves it over to a mixed tag, and you can't use it and edit it as a trios. It's gone. So maybe don't do that unless you just want to be able to have the Judgment Day set up with Rhea and you're primarily doing just tag team matches. Because remember, 3-on-3 matches, you cannot do a 3-on-3 mixed tag. You have to do a regular tag team match, or you have to do a mixed tag. I'll show you all of that in a little bit. Now, since we've been working on the tag team, let's look at victory motions here. What we want to do is we want to set up for the tag team victory motion. It's going to be set for Painful Literature for both the heel and the face motions. And like we've done before, we set everything up as Undertaker for the music, choose 98 Undertaker, and choose 1995 Undertaker for everything else for the victory scene. And as you can see here, the way I've set up the casting is I have Damian Priest set as number 1, and I have Edge set as number 2. I did this because Edge lifts the arm of Damian Priest, and I like that motion better. You can also see what it looks like if you swap out the stars and you put in Rhea Ripley as number 1 and Edge as number 2. Now we save all of that, and then we're going to go in and we're going to go do our trios victory motion. So for this, we want to set it as Painful Literature. We're going to do that for both the heel and the face. Undertaker for everything else. And the casting is important here to have it work. The cool thing about this victory motion is Edge's reaction, is the leader's reaction in this. So I have it as Rhea's number 1, Damian number 2, and cast member number 3 is going to be Edge. See, there's a lot of steps to all of this. So I hope this is going to help you out, but I'm not done yet because we're going to go in now and I'm going to show you what it looks like if we're going to swap out Edge for Finn Balor. Finn Balor took out Edge and now he's the leader of the Judgment Day, so we got to set it up this way too. Simply go back into your teams and edit them, and all we're going to do is we're going to replace Edge for Finn Balor. We can leave everything the same, and you have it now with Finn Balor running the entrance and running the show. He's not really the leader. Like, they're supposed to be just like a team all together, like a fun group of buddies and pals hanging out. But come on, Finn's the leader. Now, next up, I'm gonna walk you through and show you having a mixed tag team match. And in this case, we're gonna have Rhea Ripley, obviously, with Edge, and they're gonna go up in a tag team match, and wanted to show you what it looks like when you have a mixed match going on. So they do come out to the Painful Literature walk, which is great, and just very straightforward for them walking to the ring. Now you may be saying, okay, so how do I get all 3 of them to come out to the ring all together as the Judgment Day? Dummy. You know what I say? You gotta do a tag team match, brother. Holla holla. And you're gonna have Rhea Ripley is going to be the manager in this case. This is how you're going to get the Judgment Day all together. Obviously, you can swap out Edge and put in Finn Balor. But set up a standard tag team match. Make sure that you have a manager set for Rhea Ripley. And there you go. You now have the Judgment Day coming out together, looking like a bunch of badasses in the ring. So I hope you enjoyed this Judgment Day walkthrough, and I need you to stick around because I want you to click right here so that you can go and watch how to create the Rock and Sock connection. It's a really fun one. It's short, sweet. So if you got 5 minutes, click that one right here, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.